her. That would be super good. But I'm just waiting for some feedback at this point from my co-host. Mm-mm-mm. So yeah. No, I cannot hear you. I do hear myself. So Tiana, we are messaging. I see her messages, but I'm trying to get her to come through. You unmuted me. Maybe you need to unmute yourself. Because once you unmute yourself, I feel like we'll be able to hear you. Testing, testing. For real? Wow. Mm-mm-mm. We'll standing by for the host. This is a trial and error. This is the Conscious Cove, and this is not our first episode. This is just to get this thing started. Make sure you call in to listen so we can have this build be super powerful. I am thirsty.
Test out this paperwork and stuff that they got going here and see if we can build on this stuff.
Mm-hmm. And I know you hear feedback that's about to go away.
Yes.
Okay.
So what I want to do is just kind of make sure that your sound's together, my sound's together. I'm using some new equipment, some that I am not familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of the break in the talking here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I know that the more that we do this, the more we will become cohesive with this.
Exactly. I mean, it's a good thing because the only way that we're actually going to learn is through like this, getting it out there and just figuring it out. So please introduce yourself because people want to know what is this beautiful angelic voice doing on the line. And you introduce yourself, and then I'll introduce myself because let the people know who we are and what you're trying to do.
Yes, absolutely. So the Conscious Cove has been something that you and I have been talking about for quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
And who I am is Tiana, and my spiritual name is Cheyenne.
Mm-hmm.
I have been on this path of spirituality my entire life.
Mm-hmm.
And the more that I grow, the more that I change, the more that my spirituality changes.
Mm-hmm.
I see myself as a spiritual being living a very real human experience. And what does that mean? What that means for me is that I am constantly in a place of growing. I'm constantly in a place of existing and being in the moment. And while I may identify with a lot of different spiritualities, I kind of call myself an omnist, which means I believe that there's truth in just about everything.
Mm-hmm.
While I am a priest of many different orisha and many different disciplines, what I really want to bring to this fold is a clear understanding of what spirituality is and what this thing called life has in store for all of us. It's way more than what meets the eyes.
Yes. Yes.
So as we congregate here, I see this growing into something that is just amazing.
No doubt. No doubt. No doubt.
So that's just a long and short of who I am right now. And as we continue to grow and broadcast our episodes, and I get better with this.
Yeah, and just to introduce yourself, as we develop and grow, and there'll be testimonials and times where you need to, let us into another layer, because I think this is really about exploration of the self and really having a platform where spirit is able to use us as a channel. So it's nothing but good things that could happen. So we're generally just trying to start this thing off and we don't have a specific topic today. Today is just our first episode, and we just want to let you know about the show. Our first show will be tomorrow. So, yes. And then we will have the topics, and we'll have everything for you, but we're just testing it out, and so far, so good. I like the way that it's looking and feeling, the way that you're sounding. You mind if I introduce myself?
Absolutely. Please do so.
Okay. Well, like you said, we have been discussing this thing for probably close to like 6 or 7 months now. Tiana is an amazing psychic, and I always knew that she needed to get put out. People needed to get this healing, get this wisdom. So just working with her, building with her, it's been amazing. I am the Hood Mystic. I run a site called www.hoodmystic.com. I'm an astrologer. I'm an author, currently working on my first book. I know the title, but I'm not going to say it now for licensing purposes. But for the most part, I've been dealing with spirituality for a long time. When I get readings and go different places and deal with different Santeros and Poleros and things of that nature, they always say, well, man, you have a lot of spiritual energy. A lot of my life is based in the spiritual realm. So I am a human being, and I have a good human life, but my victories and my successes come in the spiritual realm. And so the information and how I deliver it may come across as a little different and a little weird. Sometimes it's funny, but at the end of the day, my goal is to help humans find their purpose in life. And that is a tall order, but for me, that is something that I just enjoy doing. So at the end of it all, it is to connect to your spirit and really find your purpose. So the Conscious Cove is a place where we'll be able to talk and help you along this pathway of consciousness or spirituality.
says.
But that is me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I want to, first of all, I want to thank you for being here this evening, because it is crucial that we not only build one another, but it's crucial that we build up others, because we were put into this spirituality for a reason. And, you know, not a lot of people have what we have. And one of the things that I can say that I absolutely love about you is that over the course of the time that I've known you, there has never been a reading or advice or anything that I've come to you for that has not been 100% accurate, or not always wanting some type of payment or fee or some type of quid pro quo. You know, there has been times where I were in my darkest of moments and you would just pop up like, hey, what's going on? And I think that that's a cohesive type of environment that everyone needs to have so that they can continue to grow and change, because in this world of over 7.3 billion individuals, it is, you know, imperative that we continue to grow this spirituality as we continue to move through this whole, through the ethers with ease. You know, we are constantly, you know, what a lot of people don't understand is that we're constantly coming through and we're constantly making a lot of different strides on more than one different plane at the same time. So while we're talking here in the physical, there are things happening on a higher level in the ethers that are, you know, really enjoying this feedback right now. They're really enjoying this energy. It's almost as if there's a lot of, you know, a lot of happiness in this space. So this is what we need. This is what the world needs. And I really feel that it's imperative that we get out the message. And I have to share my thanks to you, because if it wasn't for you in these moments, I probably wouldn't have stopped procrastinating and got it done.
But you know, it's not me though. I'm able to clear myself enough to allow spirit to work through me. The way that you feel is the way that I feel about you, and the way that I try to feel about everybody that I come in contact. Like, what can I learn from this person? How can this person help me help them? And just like I'm more or less of a helper. I'm never worried about the return, and that could be to my detriment, but ultimately my gifts come from spirit. My rewards come from spirit, and I truly believe that. And so just growing in spirit. So I guess the whole goal, I have plenty of goals, but when it comes down to it, really trying to explain what spirituality is, what spirituality feels like, because spirituality has gotten a bad rap. You know, giving up to the media, and you know, whether you've been raised in the church or the mosque or the temple, spirituality within itself is looked at as evil. So we have to kind of wear that, you know, no matter how you've been in this consciousness, when you're waking up to your spirit, you know, at some point in time, people are going to look at you like, why are you doing this bad thing? You know what I'm saying? So ultimately, we have to speak our people out of that. And it can be nothing bad about yourself. And so really rediscovering yourself. And we need a community. We need to, you know, so many people don't have a place where they can talk. So the Conscious Cove should be a place where we can discuss what's going on with you on the real side. Because a lot of times we be on Facebook and we got our profiles and we don't want people to know our business. So, you know, the Conscious Cove is really a discreet place. We're not going to ask you for your first name. You could tell me your name is Pebbles, and I was like, okay, Pebbles, what's going on? And so you can be completely honest with us and get some real, you know, advice, you know, because
some real feedback.
Because who's trying to, you know, we're afraid of our truth, aren't we? Like, let's be 100, you know?
Yes. Yes.
We don't know who to talk to. You know, because we afraid of people judging us. So
Yes.
this is a judgment-free zone. So whether it's in the comments or the group, and if we see any type of vitriol or negative judgment, you are being removed from this community. This is a place where we promote freedom. You know what I'm saying? So,
yes.
Like I said, this is just the beginning, and it is going to be lit. Would you please tell the group some of our long-term plans that we've discussed and really some of how the show is going to work?
Absolutely.
As far as the trips and the retreats and the things like that.
Yes, yes. To piggyback on what you said earlier about it not being you, you know, I'm a very good listener, so I have to go back and call you out on that one. Because,
go ahead.
You know, the fact that you are able to clear yourself enough means that you are doing the work. So it is you to an aspect. It's an aspect of you that's connected to something that is not connected to the ego. And we've talked about that before. We will get into that as the shows go on, because I really think that your take on ego is something that the world needs to hear. So that's part of the content. And as we move forward, Spirit allows me to be able to offer a lot of things. You know, I want to be able to get our platform, which is I'd like for them to be able to see us, not to just hear us on the radio or just to call in or see us on, live. You know, the goal is to have multiple conferences throughout the year and multiple destinations leading up to a very big destination. And as we continue to grow as a community, I'd like to see everyone there. And one of the things that I think is important that we, you know, to circle back on is, you know, yes, while the Conscious Cove is a place where, you know, everyone can be themselves, we do not just encourage it, we require it, because we can see it anyway. So it really doesn't matter what you come into the room with. You know, what you bring into it is what we give back. So, you know, this is a spiritual environment. The Conscious Cove in and of itself is a place where we live, eat, and breathe prosperity. So it's not just prosperity on a level of the physicality of things or something that is tangible. Prosperity is something that is created, in the mind first, and then it's created as, it responds to energy, and
let me not interrupt you, but let me just reiterate that point. Prosperity is in the mind. That's all I want to. I just want to make sure people hear that, because we might have $10 in our pocket and want to avoid prosperity, but we need to first realize that $10 is a prosperous $10. You know what I'm saying? That's the only way you're going to make that $10 be $10 million. If that $10 is a prosperous $10 that's able to grow. You know, if that's a poverty $10, then that's going to be $10 that you're going to spend. That's going to lead you to have $0. So wherever you at, you got to think about how to grow your money. So prosperity starts in the mind. And so prosperity is a spiritual concept, believe it or not. It is not the root of all evil, like, you know, certain people would like you to believe, you know. So as we grow our spiritual energy, our money are going to grow too. So you may be thinking right now, like, how am I going to get to these conferences? You know. We are trying to remove that consciousness. We're trying to remove that. You have so much, your wealth is so infinite, but you just have to tap into it. So this is what it's about. So I'm sorry for interrupting you, but that's just so important.
No, please don't apologize, because again, if this is how we interact, and it's important that we get them to understand that while prosperity begins in the mind, it is also an emotion. And what is emotion? Emotion is energy in motion. So the universe responds to energy, and it responds to energy in motion. So it responds to what you give it. So if you are thinking, oh, my gosh, this $10 is my last $10, then it will feel like your last $10. It will be your last $10 for a while. So if you take that $10 and the energy of, I'm going to take this $10 and invest it in something that will feed my mind or feed my body or feed my spirit, that creates the energy and motion that is needed to propel that energy up into the ether so that prosperity just continues to rain down on you. One of the things that our people have is an attitude, sadly, it's an attitude of defeat. And it's something that is, unfortunately, we've inherited this. And it's because we have come from a place that it's so easy for them to teach us that we are inferior or less than. When we created these things, we are the beginning, and they talk about the Alpha and the Omega. You are the Alpha and the Omega. There is no one else in your world but you and God. There's no one else in your world but you and God. Everything else around you is a tangible illusion. And what we're trying to do here at the Conscious Cove is to get you opened up to that so that you see far beyond the tangible, so that you see far beyond what you physically can touch, feel, and hold into the realm of universal law, so that you know that there is no such thing as lack. That's how you're going to get to these conferences. That's how you're going to be able to tune into these shows every time we post them. And that's how you're going to be able to come out to these meet and greets, because there is no lack. There is no place that you cannot be, because you're already there, as long as you've created that in your mind. So, the Conscious Cove is a place where we want people to come to be rejuvenated. We need you to know that you are God or Goddess. Because once you know that a God and a Goddess has everything that they need to survive this life. The Supreme Being sent you here with everything that you need to survive this life. The process of birth stripped that from you. And we're here at the Conscious Cove to make sure that you remember who you are and what you're here to do. And that's basically what we're about. And that's the important thing. That's where our prosperity comes from, is to continue to move in an energy of, in an attitude of gratitude, even for the smallest of things. The fact that you're even sitting here listening to this right now means that you were wonderfully and fearfully made in divine order and in divine time. And that also means that you needed to hear that. And it also means that as you take that breath and you feel your chest rise and fall, you know that that's purpose, because no one's telling you to breathe. It's just happening. That's that divine connection. And we just need you to tap into that.
Say that again. Say that again one more time, because you going in, but you might be going a little too fast. And that's what I like about the two-person format, because it'll be like, hey, you said that. Now, what was that last thing that you just said before I cut you off? Because
that you need them to tap into that attitude of gratitude and that energy in the ether of having that there's no lack.
Right. And so at a certain point, we may believe that, people like you, Tiana, is very important to the cause of, Black enlightenment. And I'm going to just keep it 100. Because if you was just a person that just talked, you wouldn't even be friends. But you show improve. You know what I'm saying? What conscious living can manifest for you. People don't know this about you, but it's a particular freedom that you carry that women, men, and children need to understand, that this is how I got to the place that I am today. And maybe you are struggling and not free. You understand? And maybe you need some advice on how to become free. And so that is what I'm so appreciative for you to be on this platform and us sharing this platform and able to grow this platform, because I know for a fact that you will make individuals' lives better. You understand? And just your voice and your tone is healing within itself. So I'm just grateful to be here. And so the things that you say, people really need to listen to. So when you have a major point, I'm gonna stop you and say, "Hey, repeat that," because when you say it in such a way that people it might go over their heads. You know what I'm saying? Because you say it so matter of factly and with such ease, but that's how you manifested this into your reality. But people are not there yet, so it's important that certain points. I'm gonna just be like, look, man, hold up, because we gotta get our sound effects together too. Be like, hold up.
Yes, we do. We do. That's what this whole test call is about, because I really want people to know that it's not always going to be completely just stuffy. One of the things that we talked about, in great detail is that we just wanted it to be a place where people felt comfortable. And if we up here talking like, Louise Hay or somebody, not to say that that's a bad thing, but, we're speaking to a certain demographic. And that demographic needs to hear who we are. So sometimes you're going to hear me say, man, listen, I don't want to hear this bullshit that they got to say about certain things, because that's important. Because everybody doesn't talk the same way, or not everybody, feels the same way. It's important here at the Conscious Cove that people understand that we're meeting one another where we are. So just as you are thankful for me, I am immensely thankful for you, because we couldn't be in this space cohesively or together doing this if we didn't agree to this on a higher plane. We agreed to do this type of work before we got here, and this is what people need to understand. When they say your life is already written, yes, it is already written, but it's written millions of different ways, and it changes every moment you make a choice. So the fact that we chose to even come into this space right now in this moment, means that somebody needs to hear this. That even if they're not physically in this room, or they're not physically in this space, they need to hear this probably at a later date. Even though we're working through all of my little technical difficulties and me messing around with equipment, I have no idea what I'm doing. The important thing for me is that we just get out here and start sharing, because it's going to come a place in time where all we have is one another. And the prosperity is going to be in your health. Your wealth is going to be your health. Your wealth is going to be your family and your community and what we can barter with. Because the world as we know it is changing. Let me just say
this. 2018 and beyond. If you do not have a squad, if you do not have people that you can come together with, I am so scared for you. And not to be negative, but at least make the effort. In the Conscious Cove, if you have questions and you need to know some things, ask those questions. And if those answers don't suffice to you and you need to go somewhere else, that's fine too. But here we are focused on coming together and building with each other. And 2018 previous, all the years before, maybe it was okay to be selfish, okay? Just like it was okay to watch VCRs in 1992. But since the DVD players came out and 1080p TVs come out, it don't make sense to use a VCR, just the same way as it does not make sense to be selfish. Because when you look at the rich people in the world, the successful people in the world, they have figured out a way to come together. Nobody is a billionaire by themselves. It's impossible, because somebody will take it from you because you're not protected. So when we talk about major success and freedom, you have to have a team. And so I'm not saying that Conscious Cove is your team, but it is a team for the conscious people who understand the message that we're bringing. We're putting it, we're available if you're looking for
Yes.
that. But this is just what Spirit has telling me. So when you see me this year, when I do my readings or things of that nature, you see me with someone because I'm trying to come together. I'm trying to create a network of spiritual people that are true.
Yes.
So,
yes.
And it's not that I'm looking for perfect people. I'm not looking for yogis or masters. I'm just looking for people who get it and that are looking to come together and realize, like, hey, I can't do this by myself, but what can I do to pitch in? What can I do to add in what you're trying to do? And so that's what I'm looking for, and that's what I'm really hoping for with this. That's what I know is going to happen, because we're going to be consistent. And so say, for instance, the Conscious Cove is just 4 people. I'm going to be so happy with those 4 people because I know that they're here to do work. Now, it's going to be larger than that, but I'm just using that as an example of the ability for us to really transform some human lives. And,
Yes.
What do you
It's absolutely. Exactly. Yes. Exactly, because one of the things, you said that so eloquently, and one of the things I need people to understand, and what I really feel I need to say, is that the independence in and of itself is an illusion. You are never independent. One of the things I've learned by working in corporate America, all these years, is that no one is ever doing anything alone, and they're never using all of their own. So as we, here at the Conscious Cove, another thing that I feel is important for us to get out there is financial health and well-being. Your financial health, your physical health, your mental health, your psychological health is all linked to your physicality. And it's all linked into your spirituality as well. So what that means is anything that has manifested in your physical life, anything that has manifested in your physical life is a physical manifestation of something that is happening spiritually. So what we need to do, just like, you have your page, getting into the root of, financial wealth and, freedom, we need to get to the root of what these spiritual issues are that's causing these issues of dis-ease. I'm going to start a series here in the Conscious Cove, the Conscious Cove, in regards to women's health.
Going too fast.
I believe the state of the woman in the womb is important, because that's the state of the world. We have so many women that do not know their own power, that do not know what they have between their legs.
Let me jump in real quick. And another thing is that the womb is almost always disconnected to the self and to the mind. So we literally direct our wombs and tell them, and men and women have a womb, if you didn't know that. But so the men can listen to this and really how to direct our energy, because we are misusing our womb first. So I just want to say that as far as the womb and the brain, sometimes it's disconnected. And so when we do things with our brain and we use our womb, our phallus or our yoni, in the realms of making love or having sex, but it's not what the womb dictates is acceptable. Then we have a whole community of people who are disconnected to really spirituality, and really, because the womb is the gateway from spirituality to physicality, because our spiritual lives was injected once we've passed that gateway. You understand? And so once we get to that point as a human being, we have to deal with our mother's womb. We have to deal with our womb and our father's womb, and really clear that energy, because we have been dictated by the music industry in media as to what to do with our wombs. Give our wombs away to the most attractive person. You know what I'm saying? And really not listen to our common sense. So when our intuition says, don't do that, we just override it with, well, that person looks attractive to me. So we see ourselves with a lot of negative mental health effects due to being frivolous with your sexual organs. So, this is a conversation that we have to have. Now, people don't want to have this conversation because they want to do everything that they want to do. And that is fine. I'm not saying that sex is bad. I'm saying that if you mean to me that you can go out here and just have sex with any and everybody that you feel like you're going to have sex with and still be happy, then show me the book report on that. Show me the science. Show me the result of that. Because I know people that have frivolous sex, and I'm telling you, them are the worst energetic people that I've ever came across. So it's very clear that we learn how to transmute our desires and our sexual impulses and to become truly spiritual. Because how can we really become spiritual when we just want to have sex every 10 minutes? And we don't know how to properly think outside of what we want to do sexually, and this is a problem because nobody is talking about it. You understand? And not saying that this is church, but if you have the science to sexual promiscuity being something that helps you, then I would like to see that, because the people that I know are damaged and confused because they have energy that lives within inside of them that they don't understand.
Absolutely. And to piggyback on that, we talk a lot about that with soul ties and just, the fact of, you call it frivolous sex, I call it bodies. Simply because what you're accumulating. You're accumulating energy that is so hard to clear from your psyche that you're sleeping not only with that individual, but you're sleeping with whomever they were with. Because, like I said, the state of the womb and the women not knowing what's between their legs, it's a lot to do with energy. And it's, when you're open, women, we are receivers. We are receivers. We give and we receive. But the way that we give is a different way. And it's always, there's a lot of people who say, show me a woman, and I'll show you a creator. I subscribe to that doctrine. However, not everyone knows what tools they have that gives them the strength, courage, wisdom, or ability to create. So if you're going out here half-cocked with all of this spirituality or all of these tools and not knowing how to use them, that makes you dangerous, not just to others but to yourself. So it's important that we understand that the womb is of the feminine energy and of the feminine aspect. You hold all of these things in your womb. You hold all of your mothers and your mothers and your mother's mothers, disappointments. You hold these things. The fact that you're born in your lineage right now means that you have stood on the backs of your ancestors to get here, and you have some work to do. This is not playtime. Playtime is over. Playtime is totally over. And if it ever was in, something that needed to be said, what needs to be said now is that women as a whole, we need to get back into giving and rebuilding the Institute of the Black Family, because the Institute of the Black Family, as we know it, is slowly withering. In this community here, the Conscious Cove is that is the restructuring and the reinstitution of the Black family, so that we can grow this back out here, because it's important. It's important to let people know that we're here. We're not just here to hear ourselves talk, and we're not just here to criticize someone's lifestyle or however they choose to live. You have choice. But the idea of that is once you make choice, you have to understand that you got to live with that. So don't go off crying and whining about whatever consequence or repercussion comes behind your choice. However, we are here to help you through that. So I think it's important that we let people know that it's so much work to be done, but it does not have to be mundane. It does not have to be just such an energy of, seriousness. We have to make sure that we can, while meeting people where they are, we are clear and we're concise on what it is our message is. And overall, it is basically making sure that we create a safe space where people can come and listen and grow and change and be okay when they leave here. And if you need a couple of minutes afterwards, I'll make myself available for you to meet me in somewhere else on the internet or, come back to me to, get some things out there in the open because it's important. It's important, and I love to hear the children in the background, is just loving it simply because
you've got to have
that's
that
family
childlike
to me.
energy. Yeah.
It's family, and that's what this is all about. We're creating this for them so that later on they don't have to worry about wealth or health or anything. We can eliminate that energy of lack and create a space so that they can go on and do the divine work that they're here to do with as little to no issues as possible. That's what I feel parents do. So,
yes. And it's really to answer the larger questions. I feel like, I don't want my child to wonder about where his next meal is coming from. I want him to be in a position where he's trying to figure out how to heal the world. You understand?
Yes.
So in order to be in that position, you have to have a level of prosperity, a level of financial security. Not to say that I'm going to spoil my kid because I have a lot of money. No, I'm going to free him from smaller problems. So now his brain can figure the larger problems because if he knows, my family is wealthy, I have the finances to help this person, then he can do that. Now, we may feel that, okay, I don't want to spoil my kids. You know what I'm saying? A lot of, of our people have this dominant thought that I don't want to spoil my kids. I don't want to live my best life because then they may feel entitled. No, the world is a place that needs people who are strong, who are wealthy, who are smart, who are able to be good and exceptional, because there are people that are not. There are people that struggle. So I was watching a Black Panther documentary before we had this conversation, and it was so poignant. Just one line, she was saying, if my brothers and sisters do not have success, then I don't either. And so I do not care what this person has. Who is he helping? You understand what I'm saying? It doesn't matter about personal success, because personal success is irrelevant to the advancement of my people. I'm sorry to say. I don't care if you have millions of dollars. You can have hundreds of dollars in feeding the homeless, okay? You can have no money and still give somebody a ride or, help somebody do something somewhere. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have children, in our community, we don't have any principle to help one another. So there you see the problem in our community, because in other communities, it's just not true. And not to say that other communities don't have that problem, but in a majority of communities, whether it be Vietnamese, Chinese, Haitian, whatever, the goal is to help one another. And if you can't physically help a person, you at least help them with information. Well, I know where you can go to get free this. You know what I'm saying? Because if you have things in your life that are working for you and you just keeping it to yourself, that you're part of the problem.
Yes,
So,
absolutely. Actually, I agree.
Go ahead.
Yes, there has to be solutions. And I believe that the Conscious Cove comes at a time where this is a solution to a lot of what people are dealing with and what's ailing them at this point in time. Right now the energy and the divine awakening that needs to happen is happening. It's happening right now, and we need to be a part of this. We have to wake up and be a part of this because, what a time to be alive. What a time to be alive right now.
Yeah.
Because
I'm telling you,
even saying that is energy.
Yes. And things are happening if you want it to happen. And I wouldn't be here, man, talking to y'all if I couldn't help y'all. If I couldn't help you, I wouldn't, because I'm not here asking y'all for no money. We're not here. I'm not here. I'm here because I see the void. I'm in the, I see the void. I feel the void. I know, okay, but I have some advice that you could take heed to or not take heed to. And I think we haven't discussed the format of this show. A large part of this show will be readings. So that is what we're here for. This is just a meet the host type of situation, just testing it to get the value. For those who just tuning in and don't know what's actually going on, I'm the Hood Mystic, El Melchizedek, and I'm here with Tiana. She is the host. I'm the co-host, and this is the Conscious Cove. This is a sanctuary for conscious people for them to discuss some things that are going on with them. So it could be difficulties. It could be successes. Do you know who's hiring? Do you know any entrepreneurial opportunities? Any free training? Let us know. As we grow, we hope to provide promotional opportunities for people who need a platform to promote their goods, because that is the most difficult thing for Black entrepreneurs to have a successful and thriving business. It's not products, it's not service, it is promoting, to get people to see your product, to legitimize your product. So if you want to discuss promotional ideas and things of that nature, we can work together. But this platform is not for play. This is a platform for business,
we're building
success.
we're building the kingdom out here.
Facts. And so
we're building the kingdom out here. So please, to piggyback off, what Elle said, I really feel that it's important that we know and understand that, we have to be a community here. And, I have, with readings and things like that, I'm here to give as much information that I have. Having all the degrees and all of the information means nothing if I'm not sharing it. So I would love to promote. I would love to promote anyone that needs promotion, anyone that has any issues with financial health or wealth. Please, let us know what your issues are. Let us know where you're struggling. Let us know where you need, guidance or you need illumination. I really feel that this needs to reach someone right now. I really feel that there is someone just sitting somewhere that needs this space. And, it's not about money for me. It's not even about notoriety in a sense, because that's going to come. What we're doing here is work that's much bigger than us. It's much bigger than what we physically see. Our ancestors are somewhere smiling at this because it needs to be done. You know, we have people in our age bracket. You know, I may not be in the 49.5% tax bracket, but I'm okay. And I just want to pass that blessing on. And I want to make sure that my people and just anyone that comes here knows how to do this for themselves. This stuff is not unattainable. You know, consciousness is not unattainable. You were born with it. You live it. You breathe it. You are it. But if you choose to remain stagnant, if you don't use it, baby, you lose it. So it's important that we get that out there. We get that out there because it's not a time for us to just sit around and wonder, if who's coming to save us. Newsflash, boo, ain't nobody coming to save you. You have got to save you. And the only thing that we can do is be here as a platform to be able to help you to come over to this side. You know, it's almost like the matrix in the red or the blue pill. Which one do you want? And how can we assist you in living your best life? How can we assist you in being all that you're meant to be? Because me sitting here, I own businesses, I work in corporate America, and I have family that I could be attending to. But the fact that I'm here means that I see something in anyone that crosses this path. And before I got here, I didn't have a platform. You know, I really didn't care to even formulate one. But, you know, I even believe that you crossed my path for a reason so that we can get this content out here, because there's just certain things that another woman can't hear from another woman, and there's just certain things that another man can't hear from another man. So the fact that we have that male and female dynamic, not that you can just look at my face or look at your face, but that you can hear it in the voice and hear it in the energy, that we're still doing something bigger.
You can feel the energy.
You feel it.
That's
you know, because it's not just ours. It's not just our energy. This is the energy that's been building, you know, for many, 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 many months and moons that people need to, you know, benefit from and get in on this, man, because it's here. It's here. So, you know, let us show and prove who we are, and you know, you guys can do the same. Come on over to the Conscious Cove's page. You know, our content there, as we continue to build, this is our first day, and I've been building for a couple of days, but come on over and check us out and see what we're about. Come on over and check us out and get some of these readings, get some answers to your questions. Ask the questions. Don't just sit there. This is your time. Your time is now. You know, be the change that you want to see in the world, and let us help you do that. So, you know, basically, that's all I have to say about that. And I think that, you know, as we move, and we're going to be offering a lot of different promotional things. You know, we're going to be offering tickets for things, free readings, a lot of products and services. I would like for people to, you know, if you know anyone that needs promotion or has Black-owned or operated businesses, please drop it down here in the lines, or just drop by my page or send me some information, and I'll let you know how to get in touch with me after this and toward the end so that we can actually do this.
Because the stereotype is that Black businesses are unorganized, unprofessional, et cetera, et cetera. The facts is that we do not have particular avenues and structures for people to promote to our people. We have to really understand psychology and how the brain works. People are hardwired to do things. So in order for people to get used to your business, it has to be a normalcy that we discuss these businesses and things of that nature. And we are not the only place that is doing that. There are a multitude of places that do that, but we need to learn how to work with each other and promote each other. So we can even do promotion exchanges. If you have platforms and you want to kind of cross-promote, we can do that, because at the end of the day, there's no ego in it. It's no competition. It's all about connecting to the people and really trying to show them a spiritual life. And before we go any further, I just want to clarify what I mean by a spiritual life. I mean that you will be able to have the answers, because I truly believe, not even believe, I actually know for 100% fact that all the answers are inside of you. The only thing
Already.
is that you do not know that. That is the only thing. And you may not know that because no one is telling you that. You may have grown up in a household that told you in order to be successful, you need to go to college or you need to have a career or something that people will
or
deem
work
you
yourself
and accept
unconscious
you.
every day.
Facts. And so you can have currency. And so my thing is spirituality is not for you to get an awesome job where you feel enslaved. Spirituality is for you to find a career, a job, or a profession, or just something to do that allows you to do what you truly are called to do and to still be paid for it. Now, you may not understand what I'm talking about, and so that's what this podcast radio show is for, so we can continuously have the conversation of tapping into spirit and finding the answers within. And that's why I'm here. If we were just here to shoot the shit, I would not be doing this. You know, I'm here for you to find the answers, and that's why I know this is successful, because every day I find the answers within me. I lost my wallet today. I lost it. And I said, I know that I will find it. I know that it's not in the house, so I'm not going to look for it. I know I was out the house and I was doing some things and I lost it. I said, somebody's going to bring me my wallet, so there's no reason to worry. Sure enough, somebody knocks on my door. Is this your wallet? I seen your wallet. Nothing's taken out. All of my cards perfectly the same way that I left it, and my wallet was delivered to me just like I knew it would. Now, I know how it is when you lose your wallet, because I've lost my wallet before, and I have panicked, and I've created that energy of losing my wallet. And so that's what had manifest for me. But when you work with energy that you have in the inner knowing, then that's what manifests for yourself. So as we uncover these mysteries of yourself, you're going to want to join in. You're going to want to share. You're going to want to listen. You're going to want to participate, because we are uncovering things every episode, every video. We are having this spiritual connection, even though it seems like we're distant from each other. We're actually one spiritual conglomeration, because when you think of a cove is an enclosed area, but, you know, we can see the ocean, but we're also protected. It's not like a cave, because a cave is deep, deep within and you can't see anything, but a cove means we have full view of the ocean, yet we're protected from the elements, okay? So that's what we're doing here. We are protecting ourselves, and we're seeing the horizon, and we're have the ability to swim if we want to in a pool, or we can go out into the ocean if we want to, or when it's raining, we can come, you know. You can come in for shelter.
And if you want to jump, you can come in for shelter. And if you need
that's what
to.
we're doing. So
and if if you're ready to get deep, you want to get deep and go jump off in that ocean, because we got layers to this. There's levels to this. You know what I'm saying? And we can jump into that level, because even in the cove, you know, the cove, and, you know, just like if you're in a certain type of dolphin cove, you know, it's that same type of energy. It's the dolphins are a community. and they feed and take care of one another. There is not just one. When you see one dolphin, you don't normally see one dolphin by itself. You know, it's typically someone first, another dolphin a little bit off into the corner there, or they're a little bit deeper into the water, you know, getting into these energies, that just the energies of the elements. You don't necessarily need to protect yourself from the elements. You need to know what these elements are and use these tools, because they're all tools. You know, fire is tools, water is a tool, you know, all these things can be used as a tool, you know, for you to grow and flourish, not just in your physicality and not just in anything as tangible, but, you know, in your mind as well. So we'll be talking about things like meditation and how it's important to drink water every day and how it's important to, you know, incorporate certain things into your diet and how it's important to even, you know, uplift your mate, you know, your significant other, so that, you know, as you're having, you know, sacral sex or any types of energies where you're constantly together, you're feeding one another, and you're not becoming a psychic vampire for each other. So, I mean, we're going to get into some stuff, and I am uber excited to be able to be a part of this, because, you know, I believe spirit needs a space to be able to use me as a conduit. You know, I've been a conduit for spirit my entire life, and I just want to convey that to anyone in need. And that's what's most important to me, to get this content out there and show spirit what we're here to do, show spirit that I am a walking, talking, breathing manifestation of God's love for the world, and that I'm here to be used by them so that they can get their message across, and they will provide. I really believe, because that has been the course of my life.
Hold up. Need them sound effects. You said spirit with what? You said spirit with what?
Spirit will provide. Yes.
What?
Spirit will definitely provide. Because spirit will provide. Yes. Spirit will provide. Because the biggest issue is people think that they're doing it on their own. That is the biggest misconception.
Hold up.
It's the biggest misconception.
You need a bomb?
Yeah.
I would have dropped a bomb on that.
Yes. We're still going to work on those sound effects.
Oh, my
People
God.
think that they're doing it themselves. You know, it's not. That's a circle back about, you know, independence. That is an illusion. You're not doing it alone. You never have. You know, you were sent here to this realm with everything that you need to survive this life. The process of birth, okay, just strip that from your memory momentarily. You know, it was the temporary. You're suffering from what they call is a temporary lapse of memory. And, you know, you have short-term memory loss. And what we're doing is we're waking that up. We're waking that up in you. And, you know, we're showing you to remember who you are and what you're here to do. And that's spirit moving. You know, you're not providing for yourself.
That explains that is Total Recall. I just want to interject.
Absolutely.
Total Recall.
You know,
that.
Yeah, Total Recall speaks about that. And, you know, another movie that speaks about that that's really good, you know, is The Adjustment Bureau. That is a clear manifestation of how what you do and the energy that you put into this life and the determination and the self-determination that you put into this life, even if we talked about how your life is written and it's written multiple ways, you can change that blueprint with a simple thought or a simple action in the morning as you wake up and you breathe in the energy of, you know, life. No one's telling your body to take in, you know, energy and release carbon monoxide. You know, nobody's telling you to regenerate your blood supply every 30 days. You know, nobody's telling your body to continue to rejuvenate its skin every 180 days. These are things that are happening as you grow and change and think that you're doing it alone, when you're really not.
You're never doing it alone.
These are things that are happening. Never. So as we're coming up over at the top of the first hour, you know, do you want to keep it moving, or are we going to just end it here? How do you want to go about doing this now?
Was there anybody on the queue at all? Hello?
Yes, I see one person that's been sitting here for a little bit. Let's see, a 248-275 number. But unfortunately, I cannot see what.
That is Chauncey.
Okay, so there's another 614 number 556 here.
Oh, that's me.
I'm not sure. That's you. Okay, so that's it. I think we're it on my queue, unless you. I'm not sure where you're broadcasting, but
no,
it wasn't a whole lot of time for me to be able to circulate this the way I need it. But then again,
yeah, and this was just a
platform for me to do it, and that we're just testing it. We can use the content moving forward, and just grow and build on that.
I'm gonna see in the chat if anyone wants a reading, and then try to share it and see what happens.
Yeah, because we have a whole hour left. A whole hour, actually, and 19 minutes left that we can do on this episode if we didn't get to start over. This is unlimited time on my end, so we can just flow with it. But that's important. As we continue to move forward, as we're seeing how we want to do this formatting and everything, I will be able to flow back and forth between the switchboard and looking on other social media outlets to be able to see if people are actually tuning in and finding one spot where we can put all of this content in so that they can know where to come to get the follow-up calls and things of that nature. So, and when we broadcast tomorrow, I'll be able to deal with this a little better. So that'll be great. That'll be really good.
Sounds good to me. So we can kind of just share it and just see what happens.
Yeah, because that's important. I really want people to be able to, know that the content is there and that it's not just one show. We'll be broadcasting multiple times throughout the week. Just putting things out there for people to be able to, take in, and they may not get it all in one show. They're definitely not going to get it all in one show.
Let's see if you can key in Chauncey and see if she got a question she want a reading for, or see if we can just do like a little impromptu reading while we try to generate some other questions. So I do have a question from Miss Mimi Allen, where she just wants to look like a general reading to where we can kind of just pick up on her energy and just try to see.
Sure. Okay.
So is there anything you want to ask her in particular? I can just type it in.
Okay. So for me, is there anything that she wants to know? Is the question.
Okay.
Is it something that's really bothering her? Because I'm feeling, on my end, I'm just feeling that, she's kind of here like, I don't really know this chick. Let me just test this out a bit. Let me see, what she know and what she don't know. And that's cool. I welcome that as well.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know, because then, like you said, it says something like the comment was deleted. So we are opening up the floor. So whether you are tuned in or want to call in, you can call in to kind of just talk out your reading at the number 563-999-3458. If you have any questions for readings, we are now available. You can call in, or if you're joining us on the chat on Facebook, you can type in a comment and you'll get a tag team reading. Okay, we got a question from Eric Bowers who wants to know how does he find out how do we find out what's the best path?
Okay. And when he says the best path, I'm thinking that what he is struggling with, it seems, is that it's a lot. He's looking at religion and spirituality. There is a difference between religion and spirituality. You are already on the right path, wherever you are. It's just a matter of you accepting that. And accepting that if you're not comfortable where you are, that you have the ability to change. You have the ability to move. You have the ability to grow. You have the ability to make your reality how you wished it to be. You will it for you. And what I'm getting around him right now is that, you know, he has a very strong warrior spirit, and there are a lot of ancestral men surrounding him. His family has been a part of some of everything. You know, I see Muslim men standing there. I see, you know, a pastor standing there. I also see, you know, someone standing near a pyramid. So there is no wrong way for him. It's just that he has to pick something. And once he picks something, you know, he will open up those doors. And, you know, that's basically what I'm getting on this end.
Okay. And, yeah, because to go off of you, I see like a particular rigidness of mind, an ability not to kind of have flex on life. So being able
kind of
to
set in his ways.
Yeah, being able to incorporate different energies that resonate with him. But definitely a connection and a lineage to, you know, supreme energy, I guess. And so the key of life is to try to figure out what enjoyment is, because in that rigid mindset, it has limited him in his ability to be truly happy. So
so they're calling me to a card here. So, you know, I feel like I have to pull that for him. So, you know, because there's like 4 different people standing around wanting to say something. And trying to listen to them is kind of difficult in the moment with so much going on. So, yeah, he has the ability, you know, I keep hearing stubbornness, and a lot of his shoe energy, which, you know, means that, you know, once things don't go his way, he's like, you know, forget this, I'm out, I'm going to move on to something else. And that's fine, you know, but you have to be able to stay the course on certain things even when it doesn't show up looking like you want it to. You know, you have to accept that it is how you created it. You've created this. So you've created it with the energy that you've given it. Not to say that that's good, bad, or indifferent. It just is. And once you learn the power in which you have to create through your lineage and even through your mind, you'll stop doing some of the things that keep you from feeling that you are, you know, struggling or in a place of confusion.
Most definitely. Yeah. So adopting.
I'd love to help him out with that, you know, moving forward.
Yeah. So the name is Eric Bowers on the chat on Facebook. So make sure
you're gonna have to just actually come down to the conference call. I have to add him. I have to find him. Did you put that? You're putting this on your page for wherever?
Yeah, I'm just putting it on. Yeah, I'm putting it on my page for now, but it's in the group too. So I just tried to start it there. But yeah.
Okay, awesome.
So
no problem. Yeah, I'm learning to do this multitasking thing, so I'm multitasking in a different way right now. So I haven't had a chance to see if you were or where you were broadcasting, because I'm working a switchboard on this end and making sure this is recording to best quality and stuff like that. So, you know, bear with me. As we move forward, we'll get this better. We'll get this much better.
Right.
So,
I mean, I think we're doing good for the first episode.
Absolutely.
Facts. I got another question from a Miss Maymuna Freeman. She says, I've been struggling as an alchemist. I easily manifest things. I play games with it, and I use it a lot. I'm able to do and get things that defy logic. This has been forever. I document the manifestations for my family on Facebook. My question is, what tools, maybe advanced tools, can I use to guide my manifestations? It's easy, but sometimes they take on way more than I want, and I can't control it. Did you hear that question?
Yes, yes, I heard.
I got an answer. I have an answer for that question. This is my take on it. Now, it may be something that you may or may not agree with, but I feel that you are trying to manifest with the ego. And when you manifest with the ego, you cannot control it, and you are injecting desire and what you personally want into the things that you are manifesting. Some people may find this to be good. Me personally, I find it to be kind of like a hindrance or a way to slow you down spiritually. The reason I say that is because it is much more satisfying for me to manifest through my soul, to manifest through knowing. And from that place of peace, I'm able to tap into a level of desire, of getting the things that I want without thinking about them or without stressing about them. When we go into manifestation with the level of result or want, then our manifestations is based upon whether they turn out the way we want them to turn out. Now, this particular energy may be good if you are doing everything perfect, but what if things don't do what you want them to do? And so that creates a negative vibration around your manifestations and your magic. And the thing of it is, when you vibrate from the soul, you tend to just get those things without wanting them. And so this is like I stated before, this is how I feel. You may not agree with that, and I understand. So I hope that was well received.
I say, yeah. And to piggyback off what you said, what I'm getting is, she has a bit of a reservation inside of her, and the reservation is rooted in a bit of fear. And deep down, her spirit knows. Her spirit knows how strong she is, but for something happened to make her second guess her strength. At her core, I'm seeing that she's a high priestess, that she has this divine knowledge for a reason. And the fact that she's a high priestess means that she has this divine energy, but it's running amok because she's not training it. She has to teach these energies how to treat her as she grows into them. And there's some whole lot of things that happened in her past that she's holding on to. There's some hurt there, and there's, some trauma there that she has to release before she's able to move into the next phase, because it's almost like an energy, a darker energy in her aura, and it's not a huge dark energy. It's just a blip, but it has a stronghold over her, and she's going to continue to have these, she's going to continue to have these different types of energies that confront her. She's going to continue to have these extreme manifestations and these extreme highs and these extreme lows until she closes chapter and dream a little bigger and open up her third eye like the lotus flower that she is, and move through that energy so that she can become.
You just said that. You just said that, and I just gotta say, this: the lotus flower, right? So when you see a flower, what do you see? You see something very beautiful, right? You see something very fragrancy and very colory and all of this thing. And so,
yes.
but that's not what makes the flower that. You know what makes the flower
Right.
all this beauty and fragrance is a dirty, dirty mud.
Yes. From what it had to break through. Yes, it had to break through it.
It had to break through so much shit. And it incorporated that shit and used that shit
in the physical and literal sense.
Oh man, in all forms of the word. You feel me? Manure.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Even at some points it's concrete.
No pun intended. No pun intended.
And every pun intended at the same time.
Facts.
Yes.
Listen.
Yes.
And so learning how to incorporate that is not a bad thing. It's not something that you should run from. It's not something that you should hide from. It is something that you
not
need
something
to
you should feel
incorporate
bad
and
about
create
at
a
all.
new story. You have the same story, my friend. You have the same story that you tell yourself over and over again. It's a loop.
Constantly.
And so no matter what type of information that you take in, that dominant loop is always controlling it. So what you need to do is take that loop and say, maybe I can't get rid of you, but I'm going to remix your ass. I'm going to put some Puff Daddy on this shit and throw Biggie on it. And you know what I'm saying? Create a whole new hit song from my old song and be like, you know, I thought I told you that we won't stop. Thought I told you that we won't stop. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't. It's a hit now. And it was some old shit before. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear that old shit, but I put some bass on it. You know what I'm saying? I threw, you know, some different vocals on it. I made it hit. And
yes.
You know
and she has
saying?
some
So,
people in her energy too.
it.
Yeah. Yes, and she has some people in her energy that I'm picking up on that's not necessarily good for her, but she can't release them. I don't know if it's family members, I can't really tell, but she can't release them because they're energy vampires. They've attached themselves to her. She needs to spend more time in meditation. I'm getting quiet time and contemplation. Because if you don't, it's going to continue to be on that loop. You have to quiet the mind so that your spirit can, you know, vibrate higher and, you know, go ahead and move through that energy. And once we get away from things being good, bad, or, you know, that perception of something, we can just deal with what is. And without, you know, void of the perception, and that will help you to move through without expectation of how that is to look. You know, so often and more often than not, all of us have gone through an instance where we have asked for something, and we've asked for it repeatedly, and we've asked for it, and it's showing up. It's literally right in our face. But because it's not showing up the way we expected it to, and it doesn't show up the way we feel it should look like, we abort the process. And that is the beginning and sometimes the end of, you know, a very good thing. Because in aborting the process, you're sometimes creating, you know, another road that you must travel, but you have to remove that perception of what it should look like when it shows up, which is why you have to become specific in your prayers, become specific in what you're asking for, because each word that you speak, you know, in the culture, one of the cultures I believe in, they call it Ofo Ashe, which means it's the power of the spoken word, the power of how you say things, the way you convey things, the energy that you put in that, even in your thoughts. Your thoughts are the divine connection in conversation with the universe. Before you even speak a word, you know, you're having a conversation with the universe. So continue to know and believe that so that you can be more conscious in your thoughts and be more conscious in your contemplation, and you can turn that energy into energy of manifestation that you control and build that. Build it. And teach that energy how to treat you. This is just a stepping stone of how we can move through this type of stuff. So, you know, use that Ma'at energy that's in you as that high priestess and start moving and bending that energy so that you can continue to grow and change and be who you are meant to be.
Because, Mama, you can see through the veil. You can see through the veil. And so, seeing through the veil, you know, as like my child, he can see through the veil very well, too. But he has a child's brain, so it's more of, you know, guitar playing or, you know, telling me different things that, you know, relate to his childhood. So it doesn't serve him to be able to look through the veil because of his mentality. Now, so if you have a childhood memory and a childhood thing that you're holding on to, when you see through the veil, you are bringing that childhood energy. Now you have all of this immense power, but you are creating a Tonka truck. And it's like,
yes,
okay.
Yes, and it's like a spider web. A spider web.
Yeah, like,
that you have to go through.
It's not going
it's stuck
to serve you. So once you let some of this thing go, then you will be able to manifest things that will assist you that are on the level for which you're truly on. You are not that young person any longer. But mentally, and it's not you that you're speaking to. Spirit is working through all of us because we all have things that we need to let go from our childhood that are holding our grown asses back. And this shit is a fucking, you know, they talk about a lot of things, you know, that are plagues on society, whether it be poverty or mental health and things of that nature. The inner child is one of the most plaguing things in our childhood because when it comes to relating, we're looking for our father or mother. When it comes to finances, we're making the same mistakes that our parents made. You know, when it comes to employment, we want to be a secretary or work for the establishment like our parents did. Actually, our parents say that's what you should do. You better find a job. Why don't you have a job? You know what I'm saying? They inject that fear in us. So understanding the childhood programs that we are living on, and we can have all of the conscious knowledge in the world. We can know everything there is to know about entrepreneurship. But if the dominant code is, you know, fear programming or trauma, then that's what we'll tend to create for ourselves, and we'll manifest things really topsy-turvy. But when we start to let go and really start to search for the soul and really start to search for our deeper parts that are really in control, that can really heal you, then we begin to manifest at such a high level that we begin to not even intend or want for shit, because we realize that intending, wanting, desiring, and expectations are the problem, not the things that we want in acquiring them. That's not the problem, whether we have those things or not. It's the mere fact and how we feel around it. So,
yes,
sorry,
I agree. I totally